All right, man. Let's talk Social Security.
Everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah. And I tell you what, and by the way, as we're jumping in, subscribe to the show, especially if you like the content. But what's interesting to me about this, depending on what news channel you turn on, depending on who you are, like the last administration, if you went to conservative stations, it probably talked about how this administration is going to cut Social Security.
They're bankrupting.
They're bankrupting, whatever.
Yep.
Now, this administration, like them, hate them, whatever. Same with the last one. Now you go to the conservative news, it's not going to talk about cutting Social Security,
Right.
but you go to the other side of the news, it's like, oh, this administration is going to destroy it.
Bankrupting.
It's just completely flipped because it's click. I shouldn't say it's just clickbait. We're going to get into some of the issues that we're going to talk about for Social Security. But the big question right now, because the vast majority of media doesn't like this administration. So all you see, especially if you ever type in a search engine, Social Security, now it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're
It is
just
funny how that
targeted
happens,
and
right?
retargeted. Even if you talk about it and the phone is like right here, then all of a sudden, like the next day you start seeing whatever you were talking about just magically appears in your phone, but it's not listening to you.
No, not at all.
So I really want to dig into the realities of the fear regarding Social Security. First of all, it's a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, the vast majority of retirees out there, Social Security isn't like paying all their bills.
No, very few people is it actually
The lion's
covering.
share.
Correct. Exactly.
But it's a big deal.
Yes.
Like even people that are living on significantly larger amounts of money, nobody wants to, I paid in my whole career.
I mean, it's something they start taking out of your paycheck from the very beginning. As early as you start working and actually get those W-2 paychecks and you're working for an organization or a company, you can start looking at those line items, and Social Security is one of the things that gets taken out. And for 40, 50 years of your working career with no option to opt out, it's just like a mandate that it's being taken out.
And then you get the business owners out there and they're even more frustrated because every business owner who has employees, yes, you pay for your own Social Security, but you also pay,
Half.
you match the
Yeah.
employee.
That's right.
So you're paying a second portion for them.
Yep.
So as an owner with employees, as a business owner, I'm super frustrated with this discussion because I'm like, wait a minute. I've been paying for decades,
Right.
not only on my own,
Large
but I've
sums.
been paying huge, large sums for staff members. And then we're going to talk about you removing it. Like, hold it.
Yep.
If we're removing that, I want a refund.
Right?
Give me that money back.
Yes.
Let's really talk about the fear versus facts here. Okay. Because Social Security, there's an undertone like it's funded, but we're running to a situation where it's just going to be bankrupt.
Yep. In the 2030s,
Yes.
you can debate the actual year, but it is going to be insolvent. And that is the big fear, the big panic around it is because of the terminology that they're using. It makes it sound like there's going to be legitimately $0 left in that.
But that's
bank.
not the case.
Correct.
Let's back up. Before we even talk about the Social Security fund, let's talk about every other governmental fund out there for Medicaid, for Medicare, for homelessness, for housing, for you name the governmental program. They're all defunct.
Yep.
They don't have any money.
The Postal Service. That is one of the largest ones.
And it's bankrupt.
Yes.
They don't turn a profit.
No.
Even though we pay,
Correct.
they still have to get governmental assistance. And most of the programs that we're talking about are actually in the federal budget. Did you know Social Security, there's no line item in the federal budget to handle the Social Security Administration? Why? Because it's been funded.
Funded through the taxpayer.
Through the taxpayer. So when we're talking about the government giving money to whatever program, Social Security isn't included in there because it's been funded. Now, the problem was in the 60s, they started raiding all the money that was in the Social Security Administration. So the federal government has been spending our money
Right.
over the years.
With some IOUs.
Yeah.
We'll pay you back.
So the
And
government
it's been every
owes,
administration since. So it's not like we're picking on the
this
60s.
isn't one side or the other,
That's
it's
it.
all sides.
That's right.
But the reality is the government owes the Social Security. Nobody's even talking about that.
Correct.
The government owes the Social Security Administration money.
Yes.
So the fact remains, is it going to go away? No. The reality is in the 2030s, depending on whatever you read,
Yeah, what day?
what's going to happen is 2032, 2030, whatever, the Social Security can only afford to pay out, depending on the year, 75%, 75 to 80% of its obligation. Because more and more of these boomers are retiring. We're going to see a crest of this where they're going to start coming off. But the realities are it can only afford 75 to 80%. But the government owes the Social Security Administration
Who knows
tons of money.
Yeah.
Okay. Which they're going to have to solve that because they stole money. They took it.
Yep.
They'll have to put it back. For whatever reason, that doesn't make the news. I'm really not sure why that doesn't make the news because they've been spending money for decades out of the Social Security Administration's coffers, like all the bank accounts. Yep. They've been taking it out.
It was basically set up like a pension fund.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you borrow money, it has to be paid back with interest. Now, because of the boomers of why we've found ourselves in this situation.
Taking out more than is actually going back into it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that will curtail at some point, plus the money that the government should put back in it. Are we actually going to get to a point where they're going to take it away? No way. Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine
We've talked about this. Yeah, we talk about this one all the time where it's like, what president's running on the fact that I'm going to take Social Security away?
Or even take it or means test it away from the wealthy. The wealthy are what gets...
They're the ones who've been funding it the most.
So, I mean, at the end of the day...
granted, it's to them and probably their retirement, it makes up far less. Do you ever think that they would make it optional? So like for someone who is maybe more well off, has more money, more resources to where you could opt out of your Social Security to keep it in?
If they did that, I would see tons of like other laws that like if you opt out, then X, like you pay more here, there, everywhere. Because I think at the end of the day...
Oh, no, I meant opt out of not paying it, but receiving your benefit.
No.
So now I'm at 65.
Who's going to...
It was one of those hypotheticals where it's like, I've got enough, I'll just let you keep that in there. If you got some type of tax credit or something.
Most people that would opt out of it probably are maxed out on the benefit.
So it's...
Which is going to be $50-some thousand a year. Who's going to be like, I don't want 50 grand? The facts remain that there's plenty of money in there. The 2030s are right around the corner. Whoever is going to be the president at that time, there's a couple things that they can do, which, by the way, they've already been doing. So they can change the FRA, the full retirement age. So, you know, the FRA used to be like 65. Now, depending on your age, it's 67, 68. So they're pushing
that full retirement
retirement age. They're also affecting how much of your Social Security is taxable. So when Social Security first hit, it was never supposed to be taxed. And now it's taxed.
Which is fascinating. It's like double taxed.
It is double taxed. So the realities are there's a lot of things that they can do. We can all look to the wealthy and say, well, they're going to affect the wealthy first, that if you make this much money in retirement, you get this much less in Social Security. Again, I have no idea what they're actually going to do, but taking it away is just not a reality. Because I've been asked many times by clients, hey, can you just not even show that in your plan? Why?
Right.
It's still there.
It's there.
Until Social Security Administration either reduces a benefit or takes it away and eliminates it, I'm keeping it in the plan. Like, just to show a what if, I don't know, I think psychologically, I think we're hurting ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're living in fear because you hate whatever administration's in the office and whatever news you're looking at, you're living in this fear that they're going to rob you. Okay, if they do, we'll cross that bridge, but it should be the runway to get there should be so clear.
Yep.
And the people that are probably the ones fearing it in their plan are the ones that aren't going to lose it.
Right. They're already in, they're counting on it. You know, it's like they're so close to retirement. That's not who it's going to affect. It's going to be the 20, 30, 40
Can you
year olds.
imagine the civil war we would find ourselves into?
Oh, I'm just like, what attorney is licking their chops on that one?
You're going to sue the federal government.
Correct.
Every single person that has brought this up has probably paid into Social Security for decades. Yep. And all of a sudden the government, the president that you can't stand, whoever that is, whatever administration you want to pick is going to be like, hey, you're not getting paid. How's that going to go over?
Yeah.
It's the way it
And
works.
it won't be a light switch,
No.
right? Like there's going to be lead time, ways to adjust, figure this out. You know, it's you had mentioned earlier, it's more like a dimmer switch than it really is a light switch. It's not. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and they're like, "Hey, at the end of this year, Social Security's done. We just can't keep paying it." It'll be one of those things where it's like, "Hey, in 2040, here's what it's going to look like."
I
how
could
they'll
see
adjust it.
I could see a position where if they made some major changes, I would see that you are not eligible to receive Social Security, in which there's a Social Security tax, but not a benefit that goes with it. But that would be a law change to where you make this much money, they would uncap how much income you pay on Social Security. That'd be one thing. Because right now there's a limit that once you get past X amount of, earned income, you don't pay Social Security tax on that.
Right.
I could see that
Moving up.
creeping way up or even being eliminated. I could also see situations where somebody makes so much money, they're like, you don't qualify, you have to pay the tax. It's just tax. They would lower the benefit, meaning if you paid, your 7.5% or 15 plus the employer matches it. That just ticks me off. So you pay 15%. I could see it going down to like half that, to 7.5%, but you get no benefit.
Oh,
But now it's just Social Security tax.
Yep.
So I could, but that would take, that's just, here's how it's going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
It's legislation. I could see all kinds of things happen. But for the people like us that have been paying in our whole life, they're not going to be like, you're not going to receive it.
Right.
Sorry.
You're going to get some portion of it.
Yeah. Impeach the president. I can't see any scenario, and that has never happened before. There's no time in the U.S. history, in American history, where we've paid a tax on something for a benefit where the government has not paid it back.
Right.
There's been no time in Social Security Administration where they've ever missed a payment. Like, just look at the history.
Yep.
Like, even the early ones that didn't pay in and got benefits, they received everything.
Right.
And we've paid into tax, and we're going to receive too. The federal government is really good at screwing things up, but they've never missed anything on Social Security.
Even whenever they do the government shutdowns, those checks still come.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was talking to my neighbor as I was coming into the office today. It was very interesting. He goes, this is my last week of 60 hours. And I was like, why? Why are you working 60 hours? He goes, because the government was shut down. He goes, we had to make all that time up. And I was like, you did? And he has a contract with the federal government. He's not a federal government employee, but he's like, we had to make all that time up.
Good grief.
I didn't even know that. I don't know how that works for everybody else, but
Yeah.
that's what he was explaining to me this morning. And he goes, yeah, I'm exhausted. He goes, I've been living in a cave, working around the clock.
Wow.
So, the government does some weird things.
Yep.
But when it comes to benefits to citizens,
Yeah.
they don't miss.
Yep.
So what else? What else here? There's no overnight elimination. Don't see a scenario for that. I would say current retirees losing benefits, unlikely to happen.
Yep.
Checks suddenly stop. Confiscation of past contributions. Yeah. None of that's going to happen.
But
Those
that's
are kind
stuff
of
that you read in the articles, which is
know.
crazy. Like why scare people like that?
because it's clickbait.
It
So what
is.
is likely
Yeah.
to happen? Gradual adjustments
Yep.
over time, which we've already been seeing. Emphasize on long transition, basically meaning if things are going to happen, it's going to be a law. It's going to be a set in stone. Like people in this situation moving forward are going to get, who knows what they're going to do? I have no idea what they're
Right.
going to do. But
Congress-
eliminating is just
Congress
off
has
the
done
table.
crazy things. But yeah, it's probably more around expanding kind of tax and income levels and things like that, and who's paying in
Yeah.
and how much they're paying in.
So any last, let's shut this down. I feel like we've talked in circles.
Yeah.
The realities of what's going to happen here is the federal government is completely, I would say 100% unlikely to make any hold and fast decisions overnight, take things, garnish checks, anything like that. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
What could happen is legislation changes. We're moving forward.
Yes.
Some things could happen. But any retiree out there, anybody that's living in fear over this current administration, over whatever side of the aisle you sit on, and you're thinking, if through elections, the Congress and House flip to this and the lame duck, who knows? The reality is that nothing's going to change.
Right.
Each side of the aisle is going to basically point the finger at the other.
That's right.
And put people in fear.
Yeah.
But I think when the buck stops, it's still going to hit your bank.
Yeah. Well, and this is, I think, a lot of the reason why no one's really addressed it other than fear, and they're using it as talking points, is because no one really wants to attack it until you have to. So I think, you've got time, but you still got to have your own retirement plan. Because as you said at the beginning, this isn't 100% of your income for 99% of people.
Yeah.
So it's a portion, sure, but not all of it. So make sure you still have your plan in place. You know where your income's coming from, and know that you're going to have time to make adjustments when changes happen. I mean, like you said, they've already been making changes and adjustments to Social Security throughout history. So yes, will it look different in 10 to 15 years? Absolutely. Yeah. But who knows what that looks like, but we will help you make all those adjustments when we need to.
And I think that's a great place to land on. Like, update your plan. Like, if you're really fearing Social Security, don't eliminate it. Right. Maybe don't give yourself pay raises in Social Security. If you really wanted to be conservative, Social Security goes up every single year. It's not going to go away. But if you're fearing anything, don't give yourself a pay raise or make it so small on Social Security. I cannot see any of this going away.
Right.
But the reality is, I've been wrong before. I can't. The backlash would be so intense. Whoever's the sitting president that's doing that is immediately going to get impeached. I would see civil war.
Congress. Yeah.
It would be so bad. So, but if you're fearing when you update your plan, just take away the pay raises.
Yep.
Don't take away Social Security.
That's right.
So hopefully there's a little bit of encouragement in here, because the facts are very clear on how the government has handled Social Security. God bless. Hope you learned something. Till next time.